So, episode 4 of the mega toolbox tour in the Andy Mechanic Workshop. Over the last sort of couple of years since I've been down in this workshop, you, the viewers, have seen more and more drawers turn up into this workshop and get filled with stuff. And I regularly get asked, Andy, can you do a tour? We want to see what's in those drawers. Well, I'm taking today a bit of time out to show you around the workshop. And in the last 3 episodes, we've covered quite a few drawers. I've actually lost count. I'm sure you'll be counting. In total, there's about 130 drawers from memory. And they've all got, well, nearly all of them have got stuff in. There's 1 or 2 that are empty because I've had a bit of a tidy up. But most of them have got things in. And it's still work in progress. I'm constantly finding stuff in one drawer that should be with its friends, similar stuff in another drawer. So I might be moving things around as we go around. Now, we've done episode 1, covered the main toolbox. Episode 2 covered some toolboxes, hang on a minute, covered some toolboxes over there, one of the far ones, and basically either end of the racking. Episode 3 covered the old snap-on toolbox, which is right behind the camera, and some grey drawers that I keep other bits and pieces in. This episode is going to cover there we go, look. What does Eric do? Can we zoom in? Can we zoom in? We can't zoom in. Can't zoom in on this camera. Okay, so it's going to cover those big drawers, those drawers, and the ones at the end, that long one at the end. So we've still got a fair few to get through. And I would say, no, that isn't it. And then episode 5 will cover all the fasteners, because there's heaps of fasteners down here. Right, let's crack on. Episode 4, here we come. Used. Right, let's crack on. Okay, so I'm on some steps now. Right, this top drawer, well, it's not tools, is it really? We've got oil filters, we've got some brake parts that I got for the Nissan Patrol that's now not really going to go back on the road again, so they're just going to live there forever. We've got some more brake parts in here, brake components. What are they for? Have a look. Oh yeah, caliper seal kit, look. Actually, they might be for Ben's Ute. They're the Patrol ones. Could be. I don't know. Could be wrong. I forget. Repair kit. Does it say on it what it's for? It doesn't. Well, there's the part number. You tell me. There you go. And these are rear wheel cylinders for the Patrol. Wow. Okay, we've got some wire. We've got one of those double row. Was it 13? 1, 2, 3, 7 down there, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 pin trailer plugs. I use these a lot because the Ford Ranger's got that style, and this style fits a lot better as a plug into the Ford Ranger socket. They don't fall out like the 7 pin ones. We've got some motorcycle Regio label holders. We've got a box with some magic stuff in that I can't show you. A couple of air filters. We've got some, oh my word, we've got some very old wheel bearing kits from All Balls, part number 17-2036. So they must be for one of our quad bikes, I think. 2036, that's the same one, isn't it? 2036. 2036, 2 the same. Never used, brand new wheel bearing kits. They were the rear ones on the Warrior 350s, I would say. Okay, well, that's that drawer. It's full of stuff, isn't it? All sorts of things in there. What else have we got? LED tubes. We've got some spare ballasts. We've got a box of starters. We've got some stuff that came out of an old tube. Yeah, oddball stuff. Oh, and that's off the ATC 250, the Honda three-wheeler. Now, in this drawer, yes, we've got my bench power supply, which is really, really good for testing stuff. We've got all my various soldering irons and solder. We've got a random bag of bags. Got my little Dremel tool, which is not the Dremel rotary tool. This is a gas-powered Dremel. You've seen me use it in the videos. Little soldering iron and sort of blowtorch thing. Really, really cool. Very, very pleased I bought that. It needs some more gas now. I think I ran out in the last video. It's super useful and super reliable. I do like it. It comes in a nice box. We've got an old random, oh, it just came on then, multimeter that still works, which is incredible. Digitech. So it shouldn't be in this drawer. It should be somewhere else. That actually could go in my field service kit, because I haven't got one in there that works at the moment. We've got the old MR2 igniters, actually, and some off of RAV4 as well, that we used in the video years and years ago. Still kept those. We've got some trailer lighting click and tow stuff, which I've never got around to using, although it's got a nice new plug in there, which is good. I'll use that. And this stuff. Now, let's go to the bench and I'll show you this, because people ask me a lot of questions about these and I keep forgetting to answer them back. Right, it's been taped up for the move, because I won't have been in here since we came down to the new workshop. Now I want to cover this because a lot of people ask, gee, that was close. A lot of people ask me where I got this from. And it would have been from one of the English suppliers. I didn't buy it online. I want to get all this off so you can see the front. Oh, is it going to tear the... There we go, that's some of it. Hang on. Bear with me. If you're not interested, don't worry about it. But if you are, I know a lot of viewers have been asking about this stuff. And I just want to give you the information again. I thought I'd covered it in the original video, but maybe that's got lost. So you can make up your own flexible brake pipes for motorbikes. Now, in some countries, this style is illegal if you're going to use the bike on the road, which is fair enough. But for dirt bikes and off-road bikes and countries where you can use it, it's very, very useful. So in here, we've got lots of different unions. And we've got the tool. Now, this is the tool that a lot of people ask about. And it came with the kit, so I don't know who makes this. Basically, you put this down once you've cut the pipe to length, and you need to watch the video to watch all the techniques and stuff. Once you've cut the pipe to length, that goes down the inside of the pipe and tidies up the it's like a nylon insert, and it sort of flares out the stainless steel braiding so that it goes nicely onto one of the unions, like this one here. Look, here's one that I haven't used before. So you get that. There's your little ferrule thing, and that goes basically, the tool opens the pipe up so that will then go inside. You've already slid that on, and then that then goes on there, so that goes over the end of your pipe, and then when you bolt it all up, it nips the strands. That's right, it nips the strands over the outside of here, and it compresses that onto the pipe to create a seal from memory. Very, very good, but the reason why they're illegal is they can be undone. The other style is the crimp type that goes into a machine that crimps them down. You'll have seen Colin Furze use a similar tool very recently on his James Bond car when he was doing the hydraulics for that rear wheel that allows the back of the car to slew around. But for dirt bikes, these are really good because it's not dependent on the crimp for the position of the angle, because when you try and rotate or twist a stainless steel braided pipe, it's horrible. It just doesn't like it at all. There's a lot of force stored in the pipe. It just doesn't sit right on the vehicle. Whereas with this, you can just slacken it off, twizzle the union to where you want it, and do it back up. With a crimp, you don't have that option. You've got to get the angles right when you crimp them. There's no adjustment. So this kit's lasted me for years. Some of the bits are quite badly corroded now. Some of the bits are like brand new. Weird, isn't it? Quality of coating, I suppose. And there's lots and lots of these and little ferrules and stuff. So I've got plenty to go at. And of course, the copper washers when you're sealing the banjo union to say the master cylinder or whatever. Got plenty of those. But this is the tool people were asking about, and it's made by a company called Earls. Hopefully you can see that. Earls make these. So if you Google Earls, yeah, Earls everywhere. It's got Earls. So that's all the information I've got. There's no part number. It's just called Earls. Earls make these. So if you Google it, you might find it. I'm sure they still make them because people still use these kits on a regular basis. Of course, it won't fit in the box with the insert in, so that's why you've got to strip it down every time. And there are 2 different sizes, which is good. I'll stick that back on there again. And like I say, it all came as a kit. Kit includes, please quote rear partner with top-ups. Okay, it's got a phone number. Let me just show you that a bit clearer. Maybe I can move it off. There we are, look. Right. So, Factory Image. Maybe that's the brand. There's some phone numbers. That's an English phone number. So you could Google Factory Image. Please call first coloured hose. Yes, they do lots of different stuff. Kit includes 10 meters of braided hose, which I've already used. 3 meters of clear heat shrink, which has already been used. And those are all your parts. There you go, look. This is a funny toolbox tour, isn't it? Anyway, there you go. Okay, so you've got all the parts, and that's what's left of the front cover. So that says Factory Image. That's the brand. So maybe they're still operating. I don't know. This is probably 20 years old. So my apologies if it's out of date. It's all I've got, and it works for me, and it probably will last me the rest of my life. And it has got 02600 FI Workshop DIY hose kit. Brilliant. Right, back to the tour. Right, we're finished in there. What's in the bottom drawer? Oh, torque wrenches. Lots and lots of torque wrenches. They've just moved. They were on the other side of the workshop last week. But I thought this was a better drawer because some of these long torque wrenches, you need an extra large drawer to fit them in. And we've got, that one does both left hand and right hand thread torque. You can move the anvil from one side to the other, and that does up to, I think, 250 Newton meters from memory. That's exactly the same. Oh, 350, sorry. 70 to 350 Newton meters. Same for this one, but this one's not a reverse head. So that's a standard torque wrench. And then we've got, what's this one here? Let's have a look. Can you see okay? You can see okay. Okay, so we've got one here, 3/8 square drive, and this one does 5 to 25 Newton meters. Cool, only a little one. Okay, and we've got my old faithful. This is from England. You'll have seen this a lot in the videos. This is a Norbar. Just there's the Norbar 100, and it does 20 to 100 Newton meters, which is really good. It's a good one to get. And I've had it recalibrated quite a few times, and it's been great. Can't fault it, to be honest. Very, very useful. So what else have we got? That's those. We've got another Tame Tools one here. That looks like it's a duplicate of that. This is a 1492 AGE, although this might be a smaller anvil. Let's have a look. It is. This is 1/4" drive. It does the same 5 to 25 Newton meters for that one. And this one is again an English one that I got, which a friend of mine borrowed. Well, actually, did I buy it in England? No, I must have bought this here. KC Tools. So this one does up to about 28 Newton meters and is down as far as 4.5, and it's 3/8 drive. And again, used it for years. Very good. Get it recalibrated regularly. Have to say that. And yeah, just works. No problems at all. And we've got 2 more here. These are Japanese torque wrenches. These are really cool. We've got this one, which is, these are all made by Tonichi Tonnichi. Probably pronounced it wrong. They're actually very high quality, I'm told. Pretty much brand new, not really used it much. This one does, has it got the specs on there? Don't know. This one does up to between 5 and 25 Newton meters again, 3/8 square drive. Bloody cool. I like that. I like that a lot. Don't really use it much because I've got the I've got the Tang Tools ones as well. And then we've got this one, which is a larger one. And this one. What does this one do? What's the spec on this? Doesn't have any specs. Hang on, I'll have to just crank it up and have a look. This one does 10 Newton meters. Oh, try and loosen it off. Up to still going 50. I think 50 might be it. 50 is it. 50 is the maximum. So what did we say the start was? 5, 10, 10. So 10 Newton meters to 50 Newton meters. Very cool. Do like that. Privilege to have tools like that, to be honest. Absolute privilege. Right. Popping back in there. Phew! 4 more drawers done. Woohoo! Back on the steps again. These drawers are quite high. Okay, so in here we've got shot blasting mask, which is rather abstract. It's labelled up adhesives. We've got some 3M adhesive. That's probably out of date now. That was from when we did the glue testing years ago. About 3 years ago that would have been. And of course we've got the old Araldite, which is just starting to leak. Shelley's Araldite. And believe it or not, spoiler alert, the Araldite won the test. And it's a hell of a lot cheaper than the 3M stuff. 3M, very specific usage. The Araldite did the trick. Oh, we've got some seal kit for the Forge spray bottle for the brake cleaner. Spare seal kit in there. And we've also got, which I haven't even taken out of the box yet, which is a very accurate motorcycle tyre pressure gauge. It goes right up to 160 psi. That's ridiculous. That will do the trailer tyres. They're at 120. Holy moly. That's very high. And we've got some Tang Tools stuff in here, which I've never used. I got given them. And these are for testing compression on diesel engines. So you remove the glow plug and these go in and you have basically your gauge it clips onto the end of those. But they didn't have the gauge anymore. I think it was old stock, discontinued stock. Yes, and there's some more here, look, see? Same kind of thing. So I don't really know how useful they are. If any of you out there have got a use for these, then obviously Tang have them. I have them. Maybe one day I'll find someone that can make use of them. But they're not really much use to me. I don't really do diesels anymore now that I'm in New Zealand. Right, what else have we got? Oh, hang on. Put the abstract mask back in there again. Some old woodworking tools and bits and pieces. You don't need to see that, do you, really? Chisels and things. A lot of this stuff I used when I was, well, there isn't that much here anymore, to be honest. But that's probably the newest thing. That's for putting holes in, like, fabric and leather belts and stuff. So you choose what size hole you want on there. And then clunk, clunk, and it just makes a hole for you. Actually pretty cool. Not particularly expensive. Bozzy tools, you can get these from Amazon and stuff pretty easy. This is a BS203289, just out of interest. It has a little lock on it. Can't remember why I bought that. Maybe I won it, I don't know. Right, another random drawer with nothing labelled on. Weed whacker or strimmer spares for the Husqvarna strimmer. Oh, and lawnmower stuff actually, by the looks of it. Okay, what's left? Valve grinding and honing. And an empty box. Okay, so we've got some valve grinding paste by Holtz Blitz. And this one I think, oh, this was from Unitech, look at that, TT. Wow. I'm sure they won't miss it anymore. I think this was a medium. Oh, fine. There we go. Look, that's the fine one. And you've got to give them a really good stir up before you use them. What's this one? Valve grinding paste. Oh, fine again. We've got two the same. And that one I would have bought because it hasn't got TT on it. Interesting. Obviously the little suckers for doing the valve grinding. That's my go-to sucker actually. This is the one that gets used most of the time. And as you can see, it's had some use. And it's made by Sykes Pickavant. Bloody good. And that will be years old. That will be at least 15 years old. Still going strong. And of course, we've got the honing tools. And you'll have seen me use this when I was honing an ROV cylinder. Years ago, there was a video covering that. And Tool Girl Hannah used it on a Honda. What was it? A little Honda V-twin thing. She honed the cylinders on that. Pretty cool. And just randomly, we've also got pop rivets in the same drawer. They will end up in a different drawer at some point, don't worry. Okay, where next? Well, a bit further down, I think. Right, electrical terminals. Now, these boxes came with me from England. I actually brought them with me in my truck across Europe with 6,000 kilometres driving to New Zealand, and then we shipped out of Athens, I think it was. So just a random selection. These are horrible, by the way, Scotch locks. The only reason why I've got any is they'll come in kits, wiring kits for relays and bits and pieces and probably fog lights, and we've just saved them and chucked them in here. And there's lots of them that I've collected over the years, but I just don't use them. I hate them. I hate them with a vengeance, to be honest, because they always corrode up and fail. But there's a bit of a selection of crimp terminals. Crimp terminals are very expensive here in New Zealand, so I'm very pleased that I brought them with me. But I really have sort of used most of the common sizes now. These are Durite, again from England. These are an inline fuse that we used to use on the quad bikes. And they're very, very good actually. Quite a high gauge wire. See there, look. So that'll carry a fair few amps with that. And it's a fully sealed blade fuse holder, so very, very good quality. If you need one of these, then the part number, they come in a kit of 5, I think. Yes, 30 amps they'll do up to, kit of 5. The part number is 0376-90. Fuse holder, blade type with cover, but they are really waterproof. Very, very good. Okay, that's that one. Let's see what we've got in this one. Ah, yes, there we go. Look, so some more crimp type connectors, lots of different types. Not much left, to be honest. I've sort of used most of the usable stuff up, but I've changed. I don't really use these so much now. I've changed onto more the manufacturer style crimp terminals that I use, like on the CB750. Right, so this second drawer, it's also electrical terminals. Mrs. Mechanic hasn't yet labelled it up, but she'll do that when she's back in the workshop next. So pretty sparse, but no doubt it'll get added to over time. That's why it's always good to have a bit of spare capacity in the drawers. We've got here, this is the terminal kit that I've started to use a lot more now, especially with the projects on the older bikes, like the CB750 and Holly's DR200 as well. These are, I tend to go for more the bullet type connectors. That's the male and there's the female that goes with it. And these also come with some really good sort of push-on seals for each end that create a pretty good seal. If you fit them correctly, they're actually really good. And of course, you get the crimpers as well. And yeah, not expensive, works really well. Very happy with those. This other kit here that Ben got me a couple of years ago, this one, very cheap. He looks for bargains online, and he'll have bought me this, and it would have been expensive, knowing Ben. And again, it's got some more crimpy type, the traditional crimp terminals. These are not waterproof in any way. They do corrode. These are actually they're obviously a copy. They're not a Durite one. They're a copy of the Durite stuff. But still useful for certain applications, but lots of heat shrink, and I do use heat shrink. You can see all the bits, cut-offs and stuff. So again, you would not have paid a lot for it, but it's actually, I've done quite a lot of work out of this kit already. So very, very happy with that. Thank you, Ben. fuses. All right, okay. So we've got a box of fuses. These are the mainly blade type fuses, I would say. There we go. There's even some old glass fuses. They used to use those on CB radios. 5 amp glass fuse. It's not often you see those anymore, is it? So yeah, and I used to send Ben around the paddock, going into all the scrap jeeps. This is how tight I used to be. He used to go in all the scrap jeeps that were going to go to get weighed in, and he would take all the fuses out for me and put them in this box in the right places. And he was only probably 7 or 8 years old at the time. He used to love doing that kind of stuff. Really, really good. And then we've got these. These are a new style DT connector. Very expensive, but they require a different kind of crimper, and I haven't got one yet. They're actually very, very expensive, the crimpings for these. The actual crimp tool. So I've held off using those for now. We've got a few in stock, and these are the standard crimp tools for those connectors you saw earlier on, for the different coloured ones, the red, the blue and the yellow. And depending on the wire size will depend on what colour connector you use. Red ones for the smallest, blue for next size up wire, and yellows are for the thickest wire. And you use whichever crimp part of these jaws depending on the size of connector that you use. They're actually pretty good. I do like those. Right, one more drawer. Relays and switches. Oh my word. Okay, so we've got lots and lots of electronic stuff in here. Resistors, we've got some chips, we've got some tiny crocodile clips. I think actually this is what I had left over when I finished at Unitech, making the logic probes. And also we used to make, what was it? It was it worked off the O2 sensor, and it would tell you basically if you were driving, the car was running rich or lean. And the students would make it and put it on their dash, and it sort of encouraged them not to be a bit hard on the throttle, because they wanted to show lean as much as possible and save fuel. It was a fun thing to make. But yes, we've got lots of these circuit boards left over. Don't know what the hell I'm going to do with all those. Anyway, and a relay and some more wiring, and basically that's all it is. But it'll grow. I've got lots of relays in a box somewhere that will end up in here. Right, just the far end cabinet still to go on this video. I can't remember what's in those. Let's have a look. Not the easiest thing to film because these are really high up. Oh, okay, bits of pipe. Not a lot in there. That's pretty much an empty drawer. And a front number plate bracket. Okay, well, still not very good use of drawers, is it? What have we got in this one? Oh yes, now this is a jig that I made with some templates. There, look, you see, little template for doing the drillings on the ends of these plates here, look. These are the original prototypes. Right, what else have we got? Now, O-rings. Yes, we've got 2 different types in here. We've got these ones in this little box here, which are very specifically for carburetors, and they are petrol resistant O-rings. Very, very useful. You watch a video that I did showing the location of an O-ring between the valve seat and the carburetor body for the float valve. Often overlooked when you have a leaking car problem. So do check that video out. And in here, more sort of generic O-rings. And you can never have the right size, you know. You need lots and lots of O-rings. And I have been known to cut them and then glue them back together using super glue. That's another way of getting around it. Obviously, you know, if it's a petrol type O-ring, then you need the right one. Otherwise it'll leak. Now this one is heat shrink. So we've got some more heat shrink in here. And this is a box that I'm going for a long, long time. There we go, look, lots of remnants in there. Oh, there's even a Scotch lock. Whatever you do, don't use Scotch locks. They're crap. This one's missing its internals. Yes, the heat shrink, very, very useful in doing your wiring. Keeps all the moisture out. Does a nice tidy job. We've got some other bits and pieces here as well. We've got some, like this one here, look. This is some heat shrink from England, made by Durite. And it's heat shrink slaving black polyolefin, 6.4mm by 5 meters. Part number 227985. Nice. good gear. Right, what else have we got? Ah, yes, pipes. So most of this is petrol pipe. All this stuff here is fuel lines, different bore sizes. And then included in here is just some clear pipe, some more fuel line, just an assortment really. And then buried down below, lots and lots of hose clamps. They all need to go on a rack at some point or in a separate drawer. I've still got this lot to sort out. We've got these here, look, these are the fuel lines. There's a little clamp made by Trident. Got a part number on there. No, not even a part number. Nope, no part numbers on that one. Geez, what else have we got? A little fuel filter, look. And some more Trident clamps. Oh yeah, bigger ones. And motorcycle and ATV ones are a much narrower type band clamp than you find on cars. So it's important that you use the small ones for the bikes and stuff, and for your fuel lines. Excellent. And the last drawer. What have we got in here? Oh, this is more like, this isn't heat shrink, this is more like just sleeving for wiring. It doesn't obviously melt down, shrink down with heat. This is just standard sleeving, and it's so old that the label has completely lost all its ink. But again, very, very useful when you're making wiring harnesses and stuff. Got plenty of that. And then we've got lots of little remnants that have come off wiring harnesses that I've saved. Again, why buy new when you can reuse old? That's what I say. So pretty good. Right, back to the bench. We're doing pretty well. I reckon one more episode, episode 5, will cover the last of the drawers. Yes, we've still got those drawers to look at, those drawers to look at, those drawers to look at, and what else we got? That big drawer there, look, in the middle of that roll cab, or that table it is. We've done all of those. We have this one. This is a bonus drawer. Cut now, if you want. Lots and lots of different size split pins. Look at that. These ones are all the way from England. A bit rusty, but they'll still do the trick. And we've got a box there, look. Fantastic. Still, lots of spare capacity in that drawer, which is good. What else? Yes, these drawers. These are full of items that can't show on the channel, apart from the odd drawer. So we'll delve into that at some point in the next video, the last video. But you won't be able to see all of the contents in that roll cab. That's more of a parts roll cab anyway. As is that cupboard. You're not allowed in there either. Sorry. What else? That's probably about it. There's still a few to go. Anyway, hopefully you found this video interesting, helpful, entertaining, informative, whatever. But it's been great to have you along. And it's not often we get to have a wander around the workshop and look in, what I have available to me to do the repairs that I do. And I don't by any means have the kind of equipment that most big workshops would have. This is just stuff that I've come across and collected up and purchased and been given, begged, steal, borrowed, whatever you want to call it, to really sort of, have a functioning workshop. You need stuff to do stuff, basically. Anyway, why not click on the subscribe button, ring the bell. Our friends at YouTube will send you an email as and when I upload any more videos, and that way you won't miss episode 5 that's going to come out covering the remaining drawers. And in total, I reckon there's about 130 from memory. So there's still a fair way to go. You'll also find me on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. You can email me too. My email address is down the bottom. Can't guarantee I'll get back to you, but I'll do my very best. And lots of people do email me, and they do get a reply. Okay, crew, well, thank you very much for joining. If you want to support the channel, you can do that through Patreon or through the PayPal portal. You can just send a small donation through if you like, or a big donation if you're feeling generous. It's all good fun. Lots of people do, and it's because of that support that the channel continues to grow, and I'm able to continue to buy resources and project vehicles and that kind of stuff. Okay, crew, thanks for watching. See you next time. Cheers. Over and out. Pretty cool. again.
Oh my